Hey everyone, Dr. Yonit Arthur here from the Steady Coach.
And I'm Dr. Sharon Gam from Sharon Gam Fitness.
We just finished filming workouts A and B, and we are here to answer some of the frequently asked questions that people have about starting a fitness routine like this, especially if you're new to strength training or you've done strength training before, but now you're trying to do this as something that is part of your chronic dizziness or other medically unexplained chronic symptom recovery. So the first question, I have a little board here so I don't forget any of your important questions. So how do we know when you are ready to do a workout like this and ready to start exercising again? So first and foremost, most importantly, you have got to get medical clearance. Cannot overemphasize the importance of this. We do want to make sure that you are medically cleared to exercise. Once you are medically cleared to exercise may not be the first type of physical movement that you do as part of your chronic dizziness recovery. I often suggest that people start with lighter exercise, maybe just walking, just to get your body used to doing some kind of movement again. Once you're able to do a little bit of walking, you're able to move around the house, maybe you're able to do some chores, maybe still with symptoms. At that point, it's appropriate to start doing an exercise program, again, especially or assuming that you are also already medically cleared. Do you have anything to add to that?
No, I think that about covers it. Definitely, I mean, in all situations, we always want medical clearance. It seems like I'm sure this is particularly important.
Yeah. Okay. And don't worry, if you're wondering what to do if your symptoms flare up during or after exercise, we're going to talk about that. So hang in there. Okay. So what do we do if you are at home and you don't have access to equipment? We used very minimal equipment in these two workouts, but I know some of you don't even have dumbbells at home. So Sharon?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Luckily, exercise and strength training is actually very accessible. So you can do a lot with just your body weight. So I think we talked about what a full body workout kind of comprises. So we want to do all of our major movement patterns. So our push, our pull, our squat, our hinge. I like to do a core as one of those movement patterns and then some accessory stuff. You can do most of those movement patterns with either just your body weight or with some very kind of light equipment, and you can almost MacGyver that and come up with your own way to use that equipment. So maybe I'll go through like each one. So for a push-ups. Classic body weight exercise. You can do an incline push-up where you're putting your hands up on an elevated surface. Which we demonstrated in workout A. We had the luxury of having our power rack here where you can adjust the height of the bar, but you can really use anything in your home. You could use the back of a couch. You can use a countertop. As you get stronger, you can go down. So maybe you start with countertop and then back of a couch and then an ottoman, and then the lowest step or something. So you can just find things that will allow you to make those progressions. So that's our push. We can also use, if you're gonna do like a shoulder press like we did in workout B, you can use water bottles for that. Just anything that gives a little bit of resistance. For pulls are probably the trickiest to do without any equipment. But again, you can still make it work. So a pull would be like a seated row or a lat pull down or a one arm row. So we demonstrated a one arm row. Anything heavy with a handle you could use in place of a dumbbell. Laundry detergent thingy, whatever that is called. A thingy, yeah. Backpack with some books in it or something. Anything that you're able to grip and then pull, you could use that for a pull exercise.
That's a great idea.
Yeah.
Heavy backpacks.
Yeah, heavy backpack. I used to do this all the time. We would go camping and we wouldn't have any equipment, and so for the pulls, we would just take our backpacks and put some stuff in it and use that. Squats, really easy to do body weight. We demonstrated a body weight squat. Really, you don't need that much more than your body weight for a little while. Same thing, like a lunge or something, body weight. If that gets a little bit, too easy, you can add a backpack with some weights on it. Throw it on your back. For hinges, same thing. Like anything that is heavy that gives you a little bit of resistance, you could use in place of a dumbbell. For core, you don't really need a lot of equipment. Thank you. You can use body weight for core. We did dead bugs, we did planks. So there's a lot you can do even with no equipment at all. I would think about after a while, if you are getting a little bit more serious, to maybe look at getting some bands, which are very inexpensive and very portable. Like if you want just the absolute minimum equipment to work out at home, I would look at maybe purchasing some bands. But honestly, you can do a lot with nothing or just with stuff around the house.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. Yeah. And just adding on to that, I have also seen people use gallons of water, especially around hurricane season. We're in Florida, so we have lots of gallons of water here. But also sacks of rice. You can kind of hug them and do your squats with them. So lots of things to just use around the house. But I also just want to back up what Sharon said. If you start using those household objects, especially if you're not used to exercising, those are going to be plenty challenging at first, but you're going to quickly outgrow them. And at that point, I cannot encourage you more to invest a little bit, if you can, in some just a little bit of exercise equipment, or consider, again, if it's possible for you at this point with where you are in your recovery, considering going to a gym. These things are huge, huge, huge investments in your recovery. This is honestly, I think, one of the most potent tools that you're probably not using yet. So please consider doing that. However, we have some additional ideas for you if this workout seems too easy or too hard. So our third question, what do you do if the exercises here, or really the exercises in any program, are too easy or too hard? You want to start with easy? Should we start with easy? Yeah, so they're too easy. So let's just say you did that and you're like, okay, I just popped out 12 of those squats and I could do like 12 more. What do we do now?
Yeah, so important point is, and we mentioned this, I believe in workout A, is we really are trying to get to that 8 or 9 out of 10 effort. And so if you get to 12 reps and you feel like I'm still not at that 8 or 9 out of 10 effort, then it probably is time to look at making it a little bit more difficult so it brings you back into that zone. So yeah, if it's too easy, the main thing generally would be to add some resistance.
Yeah.
So with every exercise, you can add resistance. We demonstrated a lot of things with dumbbells. With dumbbells, you generally will have like a whole set of dumbbells. My dumbbells are adjustable, so I can adjust them up between 5 and 70 pounds. Any gym will have a set of dumbbells. You can, again, I absolutely agree that it's a good thing to invest in some equipment, even a small set of dumbbells where you've got different weights. It's really important to have those options. If, let's say, you don't have access to some weights, you can leverage your body to make things more difficult. So let's say squats, for example. Squats are getting too easy. You could try to do a split stance or a split squat where now you're kind of using one leg a little bit more than the other. That's going to make it more difficult. You can kind of do the same thing let's say with your push-ups, right? We talked about incline push-ups. An incline push-up is too easy. You lower the position of your hands and now it's more difficult. So you can leverage your body positions to make it a little bit more challenging for you.
Yeah.
What did I not think of?
I'm also thinking of tempo and pauses.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, so we had some good
demonstrations of that. So if you saw me dying out there during, workout, I don't know which one it was, but there were some points when, again, the workout, the weights we were using were a lot lighter than I might use in my own workout. But because I was using the weight so slowly, I was demonstrating, Sharon was kindly having me pause in the middle of exercises. That adds to the difficulty tremendously.
Yep.
So you can also build that in. So say you popped out 12 squats and you're like, well, that was easy. If you take it at a 3 down tempo, so you're counting slowly 1, 2, 3 on the way down, and then you might even add a pause at the bottom, it's going to make it so much harder even without adding any weight. And then if you have a little sack of rice or a gallon of water that you're holding at the same time, I'm pretty sure I'd be struggling with that at that tempo.
Yeah.
So anything else you thinking of?
Yeah. No, I think that's probably a good starting position or a good starting point. So adding some load, leveraging, thank you. So adding some load, leveraging your body positions, and then slowing down. Yeah.
Okay. Now what if things are too hard?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So again, and I don't know how much we touched on this, but we really need to make sure that we're doing all of our exercises with good form. So we don't want to, if the exercise or the weight is too heavy or too challenging, sometimes people will kind of throw their form out the window a little bit and to try to kind of cheat and be able to do the exercise to get the exercise done, but they're not quite doing it properly. That's a big no-no.
Yeah.
So we do want to make sure that the exercise is also not too hard. Easiest thing to do, again, decrease the load. So if you've gotten a set of adjustable dumbbells or a set of dumbbells available to you, and the 20s are too heavy, then go down to the 17.5s or the 15s or whatever it is. That's always going to be the first thing. Then again, if you're using body weight, we can, again, leverage our body positioning to make things easier. The push-ups are the easiest example of this, where just put your hands higher. That's going to be a little bit easier. With even something like a squat, we demonstrated the box squats compared to a body weight squat. Something like that makes you a little bit more stable is always going to make it a little bit easier. What else do we have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, some of you out there, again, are dealing with dizziness symptoms. So adding more stability to a movement always makes it easier. So for example, I had one leg up on that bench when I was doing the rows. That may not be a stable position for you right now. It may make your body go, whoa, what's happening? And it may make it really difficult for you to actually do the movement correctly. So you could do something like having both feet on the floor and bending over with your hand on the bench so that you have a little bit more stability during the exercise. And holding on to something while you're doing a squat, or having the ball against your back while you're doing a squat, for example. So just think of your body a little bit like a three-legged stool, and if you add a fourth leg, it's going to make things easier as well.
Got it. So yeah, absolutely. And I would add to that, even changing your position from standing to seated could help. A lot of different, or let's say a troubleshooting one I think we did with like the dumbbell chest presses in workout A. If the bench maybe doesn't feel super stable, you can do things on the floor as well, just adding some more stability. And I also think that's where that pillar bracing really comes into play here. Like if something feels too difficult and your body feels like it's not quite under control enough, focusing on really bracing your core, bracing your glutes, putting your shoulder blades down and back, that helps a lot. I think I mentioned this, I don't know how many times. It's sending your brain those signals of stability, and I think that helps a lot to just make everything feel a little bit more manageable.
Totally. Yeah, agreed. That also raises just a slight surprise question that's not on my board over here, Sharon. So I just wanted to let you guys know that there are libraries of exercises that are categorized by movement pattern or by muscle group. We prefer to think of things in terms of movement patterns. So we don't say we're working out our backs as much as we say we're doing a pull exercise. But I am going to link in the video description here to a library of exercises so that you can pick substitute exercises and swap them in for any that don't feel right to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
That'd be a really good resource.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good resource.
Good resource.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So question number 4. I guess this would be question number 5, actually. Question number whatever it is. What do you do if your symptoms get worse during the workout and after the workout, or after the workout? Do you want to take the during?
During.
Yeah.
Okay. So during the workout, we definitely want to be listening to your body and making some adjustments. So yeah, I think the first point I want to make is that, something is better than nothing, and, consistent is better than ideal. So
100%.
if you need to modify a workout, even if it's mid-workout, please do that. I would absolutely rather people make some changes and just still do something than, not do anything at all. So the first thing I would probably look at is rest times, is increasing the rest times in between exercises. We did a 90-second rest time, but you can go up to 3 minutes, 5 minutes if you need to. Just do what feels right for you. Then I would also probably look at modifying the exercises themselves. So we talked about that during the workouts. The first thing you would always look at is modifying the load to make it a little bit more comfortable. Or if you're finding that it's actually the positioning of an exercise itself, then you would look at maybe switching out that exercise for a different one, again, from the same movement pattern. So those would be the main adjustments that I would make probably during a workout.
Yeah. Yeah, and remember the purpose of a strength training workout, which we're going to cover in a whole lot more depth in the interview that we're going to do. So I'll link to that in the video description as well. You should watch that whole thing. But I want you to understand the purpose of this kind of workout is not to get you out of breath and get your heart rate up and make you feel like, wow, I just crushed myself with that workout. We're working on, among other things, neuroplasticity. We're trying to help your brain get a better sense of where it is in space. We're trying to help you with symptoms. We're trying to help you get stronger, which means that you can take as much rest as you need and it's not going to hurt your workout or ruin your results. On the contrary, taking more rest can actually be beneficial in some cases. So it is perfectly fine if something's not feeling right to pause and take like a nice long break where you drink some water, you sit down, and then you get back to it afterwards.
Yeah.
And that,
Yeah, I think that's like so well said. That's exactly what we're trying to do. This is a little bit the difference between what we're doing here and maybe some other types of exercise. We're trying to get you to accumulate some successes and wins and build skills. You should actually be finishing these workouts feeling strong and energized and empowered. And so if you need to take some extra time or modify some things to do that, then that's definitely the right thing to do.
Okay, so now about after. Okay, so this is something that I hear about a ton from folks, that they have symptoms that kind of kick in a few hours after the workout or maybe even the next day. And obviously, things are a little bit different here. When symptoms are kicking in during the workout, that's a sign that maybe your body's saying, well, hang on a second, I need some time to adjust. When it happens afterwards, especially a few hours afterwards or the next day, that's a sign that your nervous system is responding with fear or a sense that something has gone wrong. And it's a sign that we put some stress in your stress bucket. Now, exercise is stress. That's actually exactly what exercise is, but it's smart stress. It's the kind of smart stress that makes your body more capable of handling stress. So it is totally normal, actually, for people who are recovering from neural circuit dizziness and other neural circuit symptoms. So medically unexplained chronic pain, for example, or tinnitus or hyperacusis, many other symptoms. Too many to list here. For you to have like rebound symptoms after you exercise or do anything else stressful, because your brain's like, oh my gosh, hang on, my stress bucket's full. This is really dangerous. This is really bad. It's not dangerous and bad. It means that you challenged your system in a healthy way that is going to build more resilience and robustness in your stress response system. So now, it is perfectly reasonable to rest a day or two between exercise bouts. Even those of us who've been exercising for a long time, we take days off between workouts. I don't strength train the same muscles without taking at least 2 or 3 days off in between. So this is a perfectly reasonable thing for you to do, to take a few days to let your system settle. But my suggestion is then to get back out and get back after it. Anything to add on this?
I don't think I could say anything better than that.
Yeah. Okay. But I just want you to know it's normal and I hear you and it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, okay, last thing. All right. So, probably most important question. Maybe you liked this workout, or maybe you said, this was too easy for me, or I have access to a gym, or I'm ready to take the next step. I've done the workouts. I really want to take this to the next level, and I want something a little more structured with more goodies in it, really. So, for that, Dr. Sharon has written an amazing program. It's a 12-week structured program. I'm going to let her talk about it in a second, but I want you to know that I was consulting with her on it, so I was involved in the development of this program. It is awesome, and it is specifically built for those of you with neural circuit dizziness and other symptoms. So do you want to talk about what that program looks like?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can talk a little bit about it. So yes, it is a 12-week structured program. I have a 3-day-a-week version and a 2-day-a-week version. It's all guided by an app. So essentially, you open up the app, it's got your workout loaded in there. It takes you exercise by exercise, showing you exactly what you need to do. I've filmed video demonstrations for each exercise, and then there's also written instructions in there. And those workouts are guided from the warm-up to the main part of the workout. I've got finishers at the end of those workouts, so a little bonus exercise that we didn't demonstrate in here, and then even your cool down. So you should know exactly what you need to do. There's also an ebook that comes along with that with very detailed instructions on exactly how to perform each workout. It talks about progressive overload, like I spoke about in one of the workouts. It talks about all the little details of how to make sure that you're kind of doing everything correctly. There's also video lessons. So I recorded 12 video lessons once a week. They're about 8 to 10 minutes long, and they really go into detail about a lot of the kind of subtle mindset shifts and extra things that help you to make sure that you are getting the most benefits from a neural circuit and mental health perspective.
Yeah, and it's awesome. It's really awesome. So again, you don't have to spend money on workout stuff if you don't want to. You can of course go on YouTube. There are lots of workout options, lots of free workout options, but this is a program we built especially for you guys. So if you're interested, there are links to learn more about them in the video description below. I'll also put this in the comment section as the top comment so you guys can see it there in case you can't find the about the video section, which some people have trouble with, especially when your eyes are kind of playing tricks on you and you're dealing with dizziness. So yeah, again, and of course, if you have questions or comments about anything that we said here, we would love to hear from you. So please drop questions and comments in the comment section below. You can also like this video or subscribe to the channel. These things make sure that I know that you like and appreciate content like this and want us to make more. So again, guys, thank you so much for hanging with us, and I hope you enjoy the workouts. Take care.